Good morning, Karen, and thank you very much for joining us here this morning. Well, yeah, we sort of now think we are legal experts as we are following the trial. From the view of the Law Society and where you're sitting, the legal profession obviously is now under the spotlight. How do you think it's been faring during the trial up to now?
I believe it's been going very well. I think that there's definitely a sense of trust in the justice system at the moment. People are seeing how it's working on a day-by-day basis, how it usually is in courts, and they can now make a decision for themselves of exactly what's going on in our justice system.
Yeah, now, I mean, we in the media, we're of course very pleased that the courts allowed us to broadcast this live, and it has put our judicial system under the spotlight. Do you think people will be actually getting good education from how it in fact works inside court?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a good education, but definitely a reality check for maybe a couple of law students out there, or maybe some people that has in the past been negative about our justice system. And the broadcasting on TV is definitely a very practical reason in the first instance. You know, the courts are always open for anybody to attend. Obviously, the judge foresaw how many people would have an interest in this, locally as well as internationally. And there's only so many seats in court, so that it's really a practical arrangement at the moment to ensure that everybody can attend the court, even if it's in from their living rooms.
Isn't there a danger or a risk, though, that maybe we in the media might sensationalize some aspects of the trial as it goes on? We've only had 4 days. Today we're into day 5.
I also believe that it's possible that it can be sensationalized. But, you know, a trial by media is not the ideal a trial in any event. And the judge has certain discretions that she can exercise. So I think if it's going to turn into a circus, she will definitely be able to pull in the reins and ensure that justice still prevails.
From what you've seen so far, have we accorded ourselves appropriately as the media?
Yeah, I do believe that everybody has ensured that they stay within the boundaries. There was some unsureties in the beginning about, for instance, the pictures of witnesses and so on. But that's now been clarified. And if there is any unsureties, I'm sure it will also come out as we go along, and we will take that as it comes. But up to now, I think the media has really respected the whole system. You know, sometimes the judge will make some remarks as to flashlights in court, or you know, movements like that. But you know, overall, I think there's been a respect for that, and I think that people are really getting a confidence in the justice system at the moment.
And yesterday was a very tough day when Dr. Johan Stipp, the one who's a radiologist, was talking about the final moments of River Steenkamp, and we saw Oscar Pistorius himself breaking down and crying. And whether you are affected all this directly or indirectly, it was not a very easy day. I mean, navigating those kind of tense moments is going to be put under test over the next few days. Now, Karen, just another question, and my colleague Gareth Edwards, who takes over for me at 9 o'clock this morning, will be talking to you as well about this issue in more detail. But just to get a sense from you now, if a witness in this trial has already given evidence and they are now off the witness box, is it okay for them to be giving interviews outside court to the media? Won't it affect what happens during the trial?
It can affect the trial to a certain extent, just because the witness can be recalled at any time. The court can recall the witness if there's something to be clarified. The defense counsel or attorneys, they can recall that witness if they want to use the testimony in the defense. So whatever is said now in the media can again be put under scrutiny or discussed in court. And obviously, so if a witness now goes and speak to the media outside of court after they've given testimony, they are speaking freely. They're not just answering questions that was put to them in court. So yes, they can affect the trial. Whether that's positive or negative, that depends completely on what they are saying and in whose favour you want to go to.
Yeah, so if you were their lawyer and if you were giving them legal advice, you would say to them, the fact that you've already given testimony and you're done does not mean you are now free to go out there and just speak anyhow, because whatever you say is likely to have an impact because you might be recalled.
Definitely. I would, as a witness, just be a bit more careful as to my conduct after I've given testimony, just because the trial has not been finalized up to yet.
Yeah, and I don't want to put you on the spot because you're from Law Society, Karen, but Barry Rue and Gerry Nel, top notch, have they been doing the right things in your view so far in terms of their questioning, their cross-examination?
They are... I cannot have any negative thing to say about them. They are very experienced counsel, and I think contrary to what the public is believing and saying, if I look on social media, what they're saying about the counsel, they're really doing their job at the moment. And I think it just depends on, where you're sitting from and who you, from what basis you're looking at this. They are definitely doing their job, and not really just bullying the witnesses or something like that, as I've been reading in social media.
Thank you, my lady. That's Karen van Eck from the Law Society of South Africa.
Know more about your world. eNCA.com